What's up YouTube, Mex Tech Guy here. So in today's video, my son actually got Cozmo for Christmas, and well, that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to go ahead and unbox it and see what it has inside, and just go ahead and play with it, set it up, get it going, and hopefully, we'll see what it turns out to be. You excited?
Yeah!
Alright, so let's get to it. So for starters, Cozmo comes in this nice box, but I kind of expect that out of a $200 robot. Opening up the box reveals some Cozmo, and beneath that you get all the accessories to get you up and running. The unboxing experience was pretty nice, I must say, and in the box you get the charging pad, the cubes that Cozmo uses to play with, Cozmo himself, and of course the manual, safety precautions, and a sticker too. In this instance, I do suggest you read the instructions, so make sure you do that. So anyways, the first thing you're going to want to do is actually plug up the charging pad. There was a little downfall on this, and it's the fact that it doesn't include a power adapter. I was a little disappointed, but it's not a deal breaker. Once plugged in, just place Cozmo on the pad so that he can start charging, and at this point go ahead and download the Cozmo application and just follow the on-screen steps to set up Cozmo. Cozmo will have a long string of numbers on his face, which you will need to enter into the application so that it can pair with your device. Once paired, it's just a few updates that Cozmo needs to ensure he's up to date, and the app will have you power up the cubes. I will say that the app pairing process is pretty simple, meaning you or anyone can do it, including your child. After everything is paired, Cozmo then comes to life.
Welcome. A cube. Give him a cube.
Cozmo gets to learn your name so that he can recognize you and even call you by your name, which is pretty cool. Now, the cubes that come included are used so that you can play games with Cozmo. The games range from playing who can touch the cube first with matching colors to even tempting Cozmo by placing the cube in front of him and seeing if he can touch it before you actually pull it away. It's pretty cool to see a robot have a mind of its own, and the best part is that the more you play with him, the more he learns. The artificial intelligence that this robot packs is almost scary, to the point where one day I feel that there will be more Cozmos roaming around without the need of humans. There are a few other modes you can access, such as code labs, and in this mode you're able to create actions and create a string of codes together, which therefore make him sing, sound like a fire truck, or whatever you'd like. It can be a little intensive, and this mode does require a bit of learning, but it works similar to IFTTT rules if you ever mess with those. Now, there are other things you're able to do as well, which include Explore mode and a mode to have him repeat a word or phrase. The Explore mode simply lets you take over Cozmo and see what he sees, so you're able to control where he explores. In this mode, you're also able to be like him and pick up cues or turn them over or whatever you want to do with him. So what's pretty cool about Cozmo is when you actually go to connect it and it wakes up from, let's just say, you charging it or anything like that, or even like this, when you actually go to connect it and it wakes up, it actually recognizes you, and if you have it programmed with your name, it actually calls you by your name, which is pretty cool. It kind of gives it a more of a unique feel. See, it's pretty happy. And you can even add up to 10 faces to the app, and this way Cozmo knows exactly who you are when he sees you. This is pretty cool, and it almost reminds you of a pet. And speaking about pets, he can also sense pets and even acts a certain way if he sees a dog, for example.
Oh, that's his new trick.
Yeah. So one thing about Cozmo is that he's got artificial intelligence built into him, so the more you play with him, the more he learns. He's not a static robot. So, it's not like you have to control him all the time. He has really a mind of his own, so he's kind of become like a pet rather than a robot. He just sung a song by himself, so that's pretty cool.
He said ABCs.
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah.
From the beginning, I felt this robot has been a great way to intrigue my family. It's fun to play with because you're not just stuck with just a few things a robot can do. Cozmo is very dynamic, and with open labs being accessible, it opens up a whole new world to what coding can do, while also teaching our children how to do so as well. We've had a lot of fun with Cozmo, especially playing games with him. He even occasionally will ask you if you want to play a certain game, and if you don't play with him, he gets sad. Speaking about games, there are many to choose from, including a memory game to see if you can hit the cubes in a certain order, or just pounce on your fingers, and the best part is that you don't even have to enable certain features for him to do them. Obviously, the more intensive games involves you to set up the cubes a certain way, but Cozmo is able to play with you without having to spark a game. Cozmo does get tired, and you occasionally have to put him to sleep, and he can also get hungry or need maintenance. Now, Cozmo isn't perfect. I'm not nitpicking, but I will say that he can fall off a table, so just be careful to pay attention to him, but this is even stated in the app. He does have sensors that he uses to detect edges, but it isn't perfect, so just be careful. And the only other downside to Cozmo, or really the application, is the fact that you actually have to earn sparks. But I guess that kind of makes sense, since it kind of forces you to play with Cozmo more and more. And if you use up all your sparks, then it can't do any tricks or play any games like that. So that's the only downside, but at the same time I could see why they actually enabled this. Overall, Cozmo is probably the coolest robot I've ever seen. He has become our pet in a way, and because he's getting smarter and smarter as you play with him, he will just continuously open new doors for my son so that he can keep him entertained. Well guys, that wraps up this video. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so. Be sure to press that like button, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.